Today in News Tech, a product review of the WordPress Block Editor.
All right, so once we've got the block editor pulled up, you can see just your standard layout here. I'm just going to pull an article that's already on the site over here. So let's pull our title. That just copies right in. Next, here's where you can type your body. This is also where blocks will go. So let's just go ahead and copy this text, and I can show how it automatically breaks each paragraph up into different blocks. So now each of these sections is its own block. So basically, whenever you hit enter in a paragraph section, it's going to section that out. And that just makes it a little easier to compartmentalize, to edit. And also, say I want to move this text around. I just hit the arrow. And it's just a little more visual way of editing. And also, let's say we want to add an image in between these two paragraphs. All I've got to do is hit the plus button to add a block and go into images. And then I'm going to pull one from the media library that's already in here. Let's just pull the first one I find. And there now we have the image separating these two paragraphs. So that's the nice thing about the block editor. It's really simple. You don't have to keep bouncing back and forth between a menu. Everything kind of just flows straight down the page as you write it. Now, if you need to go through and edit image settings, these are going to pop up on this column. Once again, that's the advantage here, is you don't have to go all the way to the bottom of the screen to get to half of these settings. So as you're editing here, you can tweak things along the side. So if I click away from any of the blocks, we're going to get our standard settings, which has your publication settings. So that's where you can set the status, publish an article. If we need to assign a category to it, which is something that you'll need to do to get it to actually show up on the page, it will be in this column here. Now, if we want to put it behind a paywall, here's where you determine the paywall term. Here's where you can add a featured image. The excerpt should automatically generate as you write your article, but if you would like to type an excerpt, that's where you can do that. Here are audio article settings if you have audio articles turned on. Here is the option I always like to point out. If this is an urgent news story and you need to make sure all your readers get it, this broadcast option will send an email blast out to everyone on your subscriber list. Here is where you assign this article to a paywall. And here's where you set the edition, which is also very important to do along with categories.
Today in News Tech, the podcast covering innovation in digital journalism. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter and subscribe on YouTube or any of your favorite podcast apps. We'll see you tomorrow.
At our hometown, we help newspapers build WordPress websites, design native apps, and develop digital subscription models. If you are interested in a free prototype of your publication on WordPress, go to ourhometown.com and click the Contact Us button.